Hello everyone, welcome to pre-match analysis of FC Barcelona versus Sevilla. So yesterday Real Madrid had their match and they have won it 4-1. So that gives Barcelona a single point lead over them in La Liga. So that is going to be a crucial match between Barcelona and Sevilla. Then we need to win this game to maintain that 4 point lead over Madrid. So okay, let's get to analysis of it. So the biggest news coming out of FC Barcelona right now is that Gavi is fit to play, so that gives us the extra firepower in midfield. With Frankie being out, we needed someone to balance out the midfield, especially during the second half, where there will be more tired legs because of the pressing style of Barcelona and the high line we usually maintain. And Gavi just gives us that extra room where we can experiment with being much more attacking in the midfield, with Rafinha being the aggressor with the press on the left flank. We need Gavi to fill that role. So no doubt Olmo plays in that half space right now, but Olmo is a bit slow on the transition during the press. So we needed someone who gives his all in that midfield, especially in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the game. So Gavi being fit is a good news for Barcelona. So let's get to the other point where Balde misses out and Kunde misses out due to injuries. So that gives us two options right now with João Cancelo, who has been signed recently in the winter transfer. So that is a huge plus point for us because other than Gerard Martin, we did not have a proper left back or right back because Cancelo being a very versatile player. He can play on both the flanks, and then he's also a good attacking person, and he's a good attacking player with a very good quality cross because there has been a lack of crosses from FC Barcelona. As we see, Yamal is a person who takes on players, and then on the other side there is Rafinha who also takes on players. So the crossing element was missing, so that adds an attacking threat to the Barcelona's team. So João Cancelo is a good signing for us. And then Gerard Martin, of course, has had a string of performances where he has performed very well. So it's very important to understand that Gerard Martin is also a crucial player as of now. But who starts at right back is a big question because Araújo may also start at the right back with João Cancelo being rested for the Newcastle game, or may Araújo may get his chance to prove himself once again because he's the captain, of course, but he has had some issues recently. So it's very important that he gains his confidence before the Champions League match because right as of now we may somehow get through in La Liga, but Champions League is a knockout game, so we need to be very very thorough with that preparation. So that being said, Pedri, of course, there is no words to explain what Pedri does on the field. He's the most press-resistant player on the field or of this generation, of course. With Vitinha, he is going to be the player to watch out for in the future because he is the one player who pulls the strings from the midfield, and his passes are, of course, the treat of the eye for any football fan because you need not be a Barcelona fan to admire Pedri because Pedri does something which no other player right now does anything better than him. So the so Pedri being available with full match fitness is a good thing for FC Barcelona. So, but there's been another concern. Yamal may be doubtful. He may be rested, as Hansi Flick said in his press conference. Yamal may be rested for this game because the Newcastle game is a much more important game, of course, because we are targeting the sixth Champions League. So it's very important to have Yamal rested because he has been overworking on that right flank. He has been our best creator. He has been our best scorer. So it's very important. So let's see who replaces him. I feel that Rooney Bargi is going to be the player who is going to replace him. But I don't see Rooney Bargi having the same impact as Yamal, and Yamal may have to come out in the second half of the game. It's still doubtful that Yamal is going to play or not because it's not clear. He is in the squad of 22 players, but Yamal is still doubtful to be included in the starting 11. So let's see how that goes. So the next position is going to be we are going to talking about a player who has been performing very well, but we have been missing out on his appreciation. That is Kubarsi. Pau Kubarsi, being just around 19, 20 years old, was having a cloud of judgment over him from the start of the business year, where he was like not performing to the point where he was performing with Inigo Martinez in 24-25 season. So there were a lot of clouds and a lot of judgment, a lot of comments passed on him saying that he's not the same Kubasi because he depended on Inigo Martinez. But last previous 3 to 4 games, Kubasi has performed absolutely well. There is no doubt about his fitness. And the game versus Atletico Madrid, where he struggled the shit out of everything, where he contained Sorloth and Griezmann, was absolutely a treat to watch. So Pau Kubarsi is a thumbs up for us. So Pau Kubarsi is the very crucial player, and it's very important to understand and note that Pau Kubarsi is the most successful pass rate completion in La Liga with around 75% of passes being successful. And that just shows that Kobasi is not just a box to box defender where he is just going to be crushing the balls, where he's just going to be stringing the balls away from the penalty area. But it's very important to see that he is also the orchestrator of so many of our attacks. So the pass rate being very successful and completing 75% of passes, well being a defender in La Liga is a very crucial thing, and then that adds an attacking power because he cuts those lines which other players will not be able to see, and he's good with both the foot, but he needs a partner at the back with him to maintain that high line with him. Gerard Martin is a player for that, but Gerard Martin is again a very slow moving person in some transitions, so that gives the Kubarsi an extra additional burden to control that space. So we need someone in that space, and let's see what the transfer signings bring in. So hoping to get some transfer signing in the form of, there have been rumors about getting Nico Schotterberg, or we may be getting Alessandro Bastoni, but it's not sure as of yet because our financial fair play does not allow us, because we are not at 1:1 ratio yet. So it's very important to have Pau Kubarsi maintain his fitness, and along with Araujo gaining his form, we need someone to control those crucial areas because of the high line we play. It's very important that we cover all the bases very well. Otherwise, we are going to be exposed. Like Atletico Madrid has exposed us a lot of times. 4-0 win exposed our high line to a very much extent, and other La Liga teams are going to exploit that as well. So Pau Kubasi's form has been top in the last previous 3 to 4 matches, and that's a good sign for FC Barcelona. So the most crucial part of this discussion is going to be the finishing, because we have had 77 big chances missed in La Liga. Real Madrid sits around at 54, 55, where they have missed 55 chances, potential goal chances, and we are at 77. So that shows that our finishing has not been up to the mark, with Ferran Torres being that player who is going to be our finisher, who started the competition very well. He was a very thorough finisher in the initial stages of the La Liga as well as Champions League, but his form has dipped off late. So, and with Lewandowski being the person who is going to be playing the second fiddle, who is much more of a controlling, or who is a holding position right now as a striker position. So it is very important for Lewandowski to get into that box. He's playing the second fiddle. He's playing closer to the midfield. So with Yamal being out, Rooney Bargi being the take-on player, and Joao Cancelo on the right flank playing the overlap, it's very important that we get into the striker positions, number 9 positions, where we will finish those crucial chances and get to the end of the business end of this game, and then finish the game well. And I hope so there is no more injuries, because we have a Newcastle game coming up. Another talking point is going to be Rashford. Rashford's form has dipped off late. Rashford needs to pull up his socks and get on with his business, because Rashford is a very important player, because Rafinha alone cannot, because Rafinha usually drifts into the midfield, and then there is an opening of space with the defender being pulled to him. There is opening of the left flank with Balde being missing, and Gerard Martin. Gerard Martin is not an active overlap player, so Rashford has to take up that position, or if he comes out as a substitute player in place of Rafinha, he has to be the person who makes a difference with those crosses or with those take-ons. So Rashford's form is a bit concerning, but let's wish for the best, and Rashford probably will pull off this season, as we expect him to be a good player with a retention probably in the future, because FC Barcelona is planning to retain his services in the next season as well from Real Madrid, from Manchester United on a permanent basis. So that gives us one more talking point, that is Javi Espart. Javi Espart has been a find of the season for FC Barcelona in the last game versus Newcastle. He played an exceptional game, though for a guy of 5.6 or 5.7 height, he is an extremely active player in the defense. He trades those transitions very well. He's good in box. He is good in transitions, and he makes those crucial blocks in the box itself. So if you see those tackles in the box versus Atletico Madrid or Newcastle, then he was the player who was making that difference. So that's it for today. So that is the FC Barcelona versus Sevilla pre-match analysis. Sevilla, though, is a very reluctant team with Alexis Sanchez as a striker, so we need to be very careful in the transitions. Though he is not the Alexis Sanchez we have known of, but he is still the player with the class. So with their midfield being playing probably five, probably three players, and with their defense being five, and so with a two front strikers, it may make a difference because two strikers versus our high line is going to be a very crucial point because one string of a pass from the midfield is going to expose us to 2v1 situation or 2v2 situation. And in those transitions, we need to be very good. We need to maintain that high line very well. And let's see how the game goes. I will see you with the post match analysis at some point in the future, and some point maybe today or tomorrow. So watch the game. Let's analyze it together. So drop your comments what you're going to feel about this analysis or what you feel will be the result of this game. So let's see how that goes. So drop your comments, like, subscribe for further information or further news and analysis of FC Barcelona or any other game that I will be covering as soon as it happens or as soon as it is going to be happening. So let's get down to the business.